Warning! This podcast contains Dr. Cochran. And lots of whiskey. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the SCNTV podcast for Pretty Little Liars, Season 7. Episode 8. Exes and OMGs. I'm your host, Dom. With me is Nikki.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going.
It's going? OMGs?
OMG, it's going.
Yeah. So, we haven't gotten confirmation yet, but I pretty much called this forever ago. That Nicole, you are still alive.
Yeah, I knew this.
You knew this? You knew you were still alive?
I knew I was still alive.
So why you been playing Ezra this whole time?
No, Ezra's been playing everybody. He's the bad guy here.
Oh god, not this again. Oh, because that's kind of where, we left off with last week. Mm-hmm. But then this week, we pick up with Caleb getting hit by Noel's car.
Yeah.
Not with Ezra.
No Ezra in the picture at all. But Caleb, he had this harem going down the street.
He did. 5 girls and him just marching down the street, and then Hannah spewing some bullshit about Noel Khan killing a sorority girl, and or I guess that was technically Hannah, but I mean technically Allie, but it was all in Hannah's head. So
yeah, it was all in Hannah's head. So did that actually happen?
No, that was a dream.
No, I mean, was that story legitimate? Like she just dreamt it up?
Yeah. She referenced it later. And they went, "What? What are you talking about, Hannah?" And she goes, "I told you guys last night in my dream." And they were like, "What? You're not making any sense." So
I think Hannah should be in Wilmby.
Yeah.
Wimby? Yeah, she needs to stay there a few days.
Yeah. But anyway, when we catch back up in real time, the authorities are I guess Ezra's with the authorities, rather. And, Emily and Arya are having a conversation about the phone call that she received when Ezra walks back into his house. And Arya has no choice but to admit, what happened.
They are so stupid. Why be talking about that in his fucking house, which he has a key to, which he can come back at any fucking time? But no, they're like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you two, all of you girls, are so fucking stupid. Not that I'm saying that I'd ever do anything like that, but I would definitely be logical and not talk about this guy and this thing while in his house.
Okay.
Like, hello?
Yeah, I don't know. Ezra, he's waiting to hear everything. We have news reports coming in. They say the military is going to a compound where they have the volunteers, they usually hold them captive. And then, this whole time, Arya and Ezra, they're, very awkward. They have this awkward hug. And then, Arya ends up buying Ezra, a ticket because she feels bad that, she lied to him. So she's trying to make it up and do the right thing, which I think she actually is doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. It's just a weird situation.
Well, he was madly in love with Nicole. He was ready... No, not with me. People love me. Yeah, right. No, but he was just, I think at that point, they were engaged, Nicole and him. And they were going to get married. So, he's basically in the same boat with Arya. Actually, he's probably still engaged to Nicole. Technically, it's not because she didn't, but, oh my god. And like, he obviously has unresolved feelings for her because he wrote that whole book about her. Not about, I mean, yeah, now it might be Arya, but like in the beginning it was about his love for Nicole.
For you.
No, not for me.
Yeah, it's a really weird situation. Where do you think Ezra and Arya are going to stand after this?
Depends on Nicole's condition.
If she's injured slightly and on the path to recovery.
Um, if she's injured and on the path of recovery, he's still gonna look after her, but if she's like in bad shape, he's gonna be by her side until she gets better. Or until she is capable of, you know,
Well, what
doing
does that
things.
mean for Ezra and Arya, though?
That means Ezra's not gonna be around with Arya for a while, meaning he's going to step away.
Mm-hmm. And then Arya's gonna feel bad, but she doesn't have the right to feel bad, so she's gonna feel worse, and you know, it's gonna be a whole mess.
Well, we already saw, like, she's already has doubts with what's happening between her and Ezra because of the way she zipped up her wedding gown at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Like, she already knows something's going to happen, and like she's sitting there like all curled up in like fetal position almost in her chair, just like, contemplating her future. You could just tell it's really eating at her already.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big mess. I mean, because that's the only current like couple we're dealing with. The title of the episode is Exes and OMGs, so
Hmm.
this would be the OMG. I would assume of the episode, and then, we have pretty much X's straight down the board everywhere else. With
Hmm.
we have the principal coming in and telling Emily that there's an opening as the head swim coach. So,
Yep.
Emily goes in for the interview, and all of a sudden, Paige, who we haven't seen in 3 seasons, two
Oh, who
seasons.
hasn't, and she hasn't changed, and I still just want to punch her in the face.
I mean, I liked her more and more toward the end, like after she broke up with Emily.
Hmm.
The end of last time we saw her, and so far nothing's changed. I still don't mind her, but there was a long period of time where I hated her. But here they go catch up. We find out that it's been 3 years since they broke up. So when Emily left and lied about going to college, she was staying with Paige. Going around, whatever. Find out
Hmm.
Paige had tried out for the Olympics, but she got into a car accident. She hurt her knee, and that pretty much blew her chances. So
Yeah, 90% back to normal, but that 10% was her chance at the Olympics.
yep, and it's very very unfortunate. Especially that kind of hits close with the Olympics going on right now.
Hmm. Well, I
Everything,
mean,
and then all the injuries that are sustained at the Olympics right now. It's cringeworthy. It really is.
wasn't that, Emily's main way into her college career was swimming, and then
Her shoulder when
her
she got hit
shoulder
by the
got
car.
messed up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's curious if A had something to do with Paige's accident to keep her from going to the Olympics, to send her back home. To Rosewood to potentially
Mm.
get involved in all this. But we see Paige isn't quite over Emily yet, because she's very jelly of Emily's new girlfriend. She's like peering through the window like a creeper.
I don't like her new girlfriend either. You know what? I
But
don't
would you
trust.
stare outside the window of a shop, like glaring at her? Probably
No,
not. Yeah. So
no, I wouldn't care either way because I, I don't know. I'm not Paige.
yeah, that's true. You're not a super creep.
No,
Just a little creep.
I'm pretty short, so yeah.
Yeah. Uh, um, and then we had Allison still, dealing with everything that went on with Dr. Rollins and everything, and she decides that she's going to go back to teaching. And then the whole classroom plays a prank on her. Everyone in the class is sitting in class dressed as a in a black hoodie, And at first I'm like, oh, this is going to be another dream because they just faked
It's
this out with Hannah, but it
exactly.
wasn't. It wasn't a dream.
No. How did those kids not get some sort of suspension?
I don't know.
That school is really fucked up. Rosewood, get your shit together.
Yeah.
This is the reason. Your school is the reason why psychos and sociopaths exist.
Yeah. I mean, if that happened in my school, bad things would have happened to all the kids.
Lots of punishment going out.
Yeah. And then, you have that one kid when they're sitting there talking, I forget what book they were talking about, but...
It was a Shakespeare book, for sure.
Right.
That's for sure.
And they're talking, how Allie was like, until all your lies catch up with you, and that one kid just goes, yeah, you would know best, and it was just like, I could hear the collective, that you see in all those Facebook videos now, with kids at the, the fighting, and I was waiting for one of those things, and...
I actually did that. I actually made that sound when it happened. I was like, oh, burn.
And then Allie gets, a page over the intercom by the principal. Allie, would you like some ointment for that burn? No, just like, no.
God, that was a thing.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been good.
She gets called into the principal's office, and then, she sees one of the secretaries comes in and pulls out, a file for the current class, and she sees that the principal still has class of 2012 for some strange reason. After they graduated, files are still on record like that, like in an accessible place. That's just, I guess maybe for like letters of recommendation, things like that you might, want to keep, but I don't know, but she goes in looking for...
The whole class was filed in his office. Like, I know from being in a school's office and like actually having to sort through the files, that they actually transfer them into a secure room almost the day after everybody's graduated. Yeah. So, like, that is really... It's really fishy, or it's just a plot hole for the show. They wrote it in for convenience and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. I guess it's a school by school thing.
It could be, yeah.
But Allie goes looking for Noel's file, and she finds a piece of paper in it that said, "I warned you bitches, do you really want to end up dead?" So, I already beat them there.
Now, do you think it's Noel, or is it just way too convenient?
Because it's so very, very focused on Noel. She had a dream about it.
He is a dick, that's for sure.
He is.
He painted his own target on his back. Like, he's like, I'm the one. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He's flaunting it.
Yeah. I don't know. Because, it's one thing for Hannah to, like, dream about it and, like, really admit it, but then we had Mrs. Grunwald, who we haven't seen since they resolved the Ravenswood storyline. When Caleb came back over onto Pretty Little Liars, it was, like, maybe 3 or 4 episodes after he finally came back. She comes back, she claims that she had a dream, there's a strong sense of darkness around Hannah and Caleb, and then they're sitting in the Radley talking, and she's like, the source of the threat is close, and Noel is, like, standing right there. Mm-hmm. So Noel comes over to talk to Hannah, and Mrs. Grunwald starts, like, bleeding out the nose and, like, almost having a seizure. Like, it was insane. And it's just like, what is going on? And Noel's just like,
freaks.
Okay, and he just leaves, And while this is happening, Mrs. Grunwald is having flashes of the time when Hannah was just recently kidnapped.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say that they're purposely, like, putting her there and having all of this happen just to make us think it's Noel. But...
Well, of course. I mean, we already went over a couple weeks ago. The next episode is called The Wrath of Khan, so it's going to be a Noel-centric kind of episode that they've been building to. So, we should get our answers then at least. But it seems like Noel and Jenna are kind of on the same path as the girls, which, they kind of alluded to before Sarah died.
Mm-hmm.
But, Emily says in their dream or whatever, her dream sequence, that something like that comes up with Jenna being on the same kind of path as them. So, I honestly believe that, but I believe she has her reasons for keeping it secret, the information. That's when Sarah started talking, and,
Yeah, and they're probably not going to, like, they're not searching the good way. Like, they're probably doing a lot of,
yeah.
Shifty things, and they don't want that to be public
Yeah.
because,
Well, because we had Dr. Cochran, who we learned about last week. Arya and Spencer kind of research into this, and they find out that the doctor is in Brookhaven, so they go there, and it's not actually Dr. Cochran, it's his daughter.
mm-hmm.
So she's like, yeah, don't go looking for him, I don't know where he is, and then, they leave, and they're basically, that was a dead end kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Until Spencer gets a phone call from her, and is like, you had my office ransacked, and I'll give you what you want if you just don't send anybody back.
Yeah, just leave me alone here. I have some information.
So, I mean, they're assuming it was Noel Khan,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't know for sure.
Well, we do know that Noel has been trying to get a hold of her because, if you go back to the phone call when he called Dr. Cochran, he did refer to her as a her. So he was talking about her, the daughter, not the father.
Mm.
And he was obviously trying to get some information from her. So, yes, it looks like Noel because he ransacked her office is where all her information is.
Right.
So.
But she gives advice and says, bring a bottle of whiskey, and they do just that. And if it wasn't for the bottle of whiskey, he wouldn't have talked.
No.
So
he wouldn't have let them in the front door.
Yeah. So they have a conversation, and they're talking about Mary Drake and the children that were born. The first child was a boy, which, we know this is Charles.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talks about a second child, which he cannot remember the gender of the child, and said that, it went to temporary custody family services. And, I mean, we've been talking about how you need to read the theory of Spencer being A, and, if this is true, we know Spencer was in Radley as a child.
As a child, yeah.
Like, we saw flashbacks of when, before Radley was converted, we saw Spencer, seeing a young girl running through the halls, and Spencer seeming to remember a room in there, and it's like some secret room that they were not in. Like, she had vivid memories of this thing, that she couldn't recall, but, she was confused as to what they were and what they meant and who this girl was and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure the child is her. So I think Mary's second child is Spencer.
I mean, if you look at Mary and you look at Spencer, obviously they didn't cast the two actresses because they looked similar and,
Right.
they planned this twist all the way down the line. But, they do look similar.
Yeah.
If you put blonde hair on Mary, it looks like Jessica, which looks more like Allie. But
well, we know that Spencer and Jason are related.
Yep.
Right, but we don't know how. Right.
We just figured it was her dad sleeping around.
Yeah, but for all we know, it's because Spencer was adopted.
Yeah.
This whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, when Spencer thought her father was sleeping around this whole time, that may not have been the case.
No.
Just another Hastings family secret,
Yeah.
So, it's looking more and more like Spencer could actually be A. And I'm curious if we're going to find out this information at the end of 6A here. Or 6? Are we in season 6 or season 7?
7.
7, yeah. So, 7A. And then we deal with the aftermath of this for the whole rest of the next part of the season.
I mean, Spencer plays it off really well. And like the only thing that really raises my eyebrows is what Hannah did. That phone call she made.
Mm.
It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like I don't I the only person I could actually think that she was talking to was like Lucas or maybe Mona because she's close. She's always been close to Mona in a way, being like the less you know, the better, and like I'll get you the money and just do this for me.
Yeah.
It
I
seems
mean,
like she's
she
calling on Mona.
it's got to be Mona. Lucas isn't going to be able to do that for her.
No.
Because she said, she wants to make a deal and have it so someone forgets all about her. And she tells Caleb that she's going to New York for fashion show or fashion stuff and
Mhm.
whatever, and gives him like this weird, awkward goodbye hug. And I was totally expecting some hot and heavy smooching.
Well, see, he knew something was up with her, and he asks her if she's okay, and obviously she's not. And like
Yeah,
she goes to walk away, and then runs back like for that reassuring hug, like to say, "Oh, you're still thinking of me. You still know me. Thank you, thank you, thank you."
right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this season. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place, but it's definitely building to something. So it's just a matter of what, and it's going to become clear. We got 2 more episodes left for this half of the season,
Hmm.
and then hopefully things will start making sense from here on out.
Yeah, the very last like 10 seconds of the mid-season is going to make sense. But everything up to
It,
that point, it's
it'll
not going to
pull
make sense.
it'll pull it all together. It
That's
typically
the
does. It typically does, though. That's the way the show works. It gives you.
that's
It's
how
like putting a
most mid-season
puzzle together.
finales work.
Yeah, but the show's different. It's like putting a puzzle together. Like this is a
Well,
mystery show as
it is a
opposed to
mystery.
other shows that we watch that they have to give you red herrings and things to throw you off. Otherwise, you know exactly where it's going.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yes, nothing really makes sense right now, but we have enough clues and enough pieces that we could kind of figure out somewhat sort of direction that it's going, but that's the same way like a jigsaw puzzle will have, a bunch of red squares in the bottom left and then a bunch of red squares in the top right and then maybe some fake red squares in the middle because they want you to think those pieces go in those places when they don't you don't know where they go until they all line up.
I don't know what kind of jigsaw puzzles you're doing.
I I don't typically do puzzles face up because the colors distract me. I flip them over and do them brown side and then flip them over when I'm done. But yeah.
Okay.
But most people do them that way. They usually fill in the edges and then they pull out the little picture and they're looking and they're like, "Oh, there's a red balloon up in the top corner, so I'm gonna put all the red pieces." But there's another red balloon over here, and so then you don't know which red balloon the pieces go to.
Huh.
Hmm. Anyway, do you have anything else for this episode?
Um,
In fact, the entire
no.
puzzle was 99 red balloons.
That's a terrible, terrible puzzle to do. Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there was something that I needed to bring up, but I can't think of it right now. I mean, maybe it was just like the comment he made about the baby that he didn't know about, that it was even though it was premature and small, it was a fighter. It was, vicious and it was it you know,
Tenacious.
it was tenacious and it obviously survived and it's still kicking.
Yeah.
And that does, I mean, tenacious and fighter, it does sound like Spencer, so
Mm-hmm.
I guess like that's my only like residual thought about this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that, but I just want to ask you real quick, what did it feel to see Mrs. Grunwald again? Were you excited to see her again?
I that is the one thing that I really liked about Ravenswood was Mrs. Grunwald. She's always been an interesting character, but I couldn't help but look at her makeup job.
Mm.
This episode, it was terrible. Like it was like all the fake suntan on her face, but like past her jawbone onto her ear and down her neck was her normal skin color, and she's really pale. And oh my God, I'm sorry. I mean, I guess it's like older actresses. You can't really
It
do
just
much
seemed
with
like she
that.
had sunburn and they tried to cover it up. That's what it seemed like to me.
It was really bad.
So, yeah.
I don't know, but yeah,
Do you
it was
think
great to see her again,
do you
though.
think we've seen the last of her?
I don't think so.
I think she's going to be
I
hospitalized after that episode.
maybe. I think they're trying to bring a
Do you
supernatural
do you
element into the series now
do you think
to
there's a
end it off.
possibility that Hannah was actually talking to Mrs. Grunwald and not Mona?
Maybe? I I don't know. I don't know if she'd do that with Miss Grunwald.
Miss Grunwald seems to be like really close and has a connection with Hannah.
I think that's because Hannah is so flaky that she's actually kind of the same kind of person as Miss Grunwald. She's kind of, clairvoyant, just in the
Hmm.
tiniest sense. And that's why they have a connection.
How dare you rag on my Hannah?
What do you,
You
what do you
called her
mean?
flaky.
She is flaky.
Flaky. So, next week we have The Wrath of Khan.
Okay.
Are you gonna scream Khan at the TV at some
No,
point during this
no.
episode? I feel like you're gonna.
No, I'm not.
We're
No.
gonna have to make a meme out of it. Is that?
It's gonna. Are you kidding? It's probably already a meme.
One of the Pretty Little Liars goes rogue to prove that Noel Khan is Uber A. I wonder who that could be.
Hmm.
While the others try to find evidence to back her theory and worry about her emotional state. Emily unexpectedly turns to Paige for comfort in her time of need, which causes tension in her other relationships. And Jason and Arya team up to look into Mary's past and what she might be hiding. So, more Jason.
Okay. Yeah, Jason, he was off and gone seeing his agent or whatever to see if he could get his money back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other thing, I guess. But when they say relationships for Emily, obviously they're talking about her new girlfriend and then possibly Allie.
Yeah.
Because, they kind of have an awkward thing going on.
Yeah. And, yeah, I guess so. That's pretty much about it.
Yeah.
So, Nikki, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. Just really want to say quick, because I forgot, now that Allie's teaching again, we might be caught up to like that point in the flashback, other than the fact that she wrote Dr. Rollins on the board and clearly corrected the principal that that she was De Laurentiis. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm confused by where that flashback fits in now,
Yeah, me too.
or flash forward or whatever it was. But yeah, so
I believe we're probably around the same point. Maybe that's where they're leaving them, or that's where the mid-season finale is going to start off. Is
yeah,
like
maybe.
at that point, because maybe there's like I think I mentioned it. Maybe there's just some legal stuff where she can't change her name back to De Laurentiis and she has to be Rollins, and
Could
that's
be.
where that comes into play.
Yeah. You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next week, Khan!